All right, so we are now live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and I know you are looking forward to this conversation, and I want to welcome you to this very program. I'm really honored to have my sister, Glittery Enterprise. Can you help me with the name again?
Glitter,
Glitter.
glitterati, glitterati,
Glitterati,
glitterati,
glitterati. Yeah, we in Africa we say glitterati. Yeah, yeah,
glitterati,
yeah. So
glitterati.
glitterati. Yeah,
Yes, correct.
So I want to welcome everybody, and I also want to welcome my sister here, and we're going to have a fruitful conversation. The kind of conversation that we're about to have is very important that we have that because I read some of the comment like you don't need to start this conversation. The conversation's already started. Okay, 2 days ago, I think yesterday, I saw one man. That was the first time hearing about him, Tariq Nasheed, and he has a foundation called the Foundational Black African. And according to his theory, he's not an African American. He's a foundational black. I don't even know what that really means, and he has nothing to do with Africans. And he's even propagating that Africans should be banned from entering into the United States because they are taking the opportunities which so hard to go to the African American that belong to African Americans. And quite coincidental. Like coincidentally, we have a backdrop loop. All right. Someone say you have a back. Let me mute it. Is it okay now? Um. All right. Let me know if it's okay now. Someone say we have a background loop. I don't know if it's better, but what I'm trying to say is this kind of conversation is very important because we are trying to make each other understand ourselves. We want to understand ourselves why something is so okay. We're not trying to get at each other's truth. We are not trying to compare one person against the other or to the other. We are trying to understand ourselves. If we refuse to talk about issues like that, we end up having people who do not mean well for our relationship talking about it. But that's where you have people who feel that we are not the same. We don't share any relation, and that's it's we against them or they against us. Okay, so it's very important that we have this conversation, and I'm really happy that we have our sister, an African, a daughter of the land, and also who have been in the United States, who can be in the best position to enlighten me as an African. I know a lot of Africans are watching this, so it's really important for us to have this. So thank you for coming on the show, Sister Glorati. Can you introduce yourself to our listeners and our viewers?
Hi, everybody. My name is Glitterati. I am a jack of all trades. I do it all. I also have a YouTube channel called Glitterati ENT. So make sure you go and subscribe and check it out. I am I I'm in the special events industry. I host. I create discourse, graphics, comedy, act. I do it all. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And I
impressive.
also love to travel. I love to travel. My mother is a travel agent, so I was born into travel. But in the very beginning, I didn't really like it that much. But now
Mm,
I can't wait, and I'm mad about
mm.
Coro because Coro has ended. I traveled too much traveling. It
And a lot
has
of people do not want
changed
to
the
take the
dynamic.
vaccines anyway. So
Yes, literally it has changed travel,
mm,
and I I've been proudly brought up African. I love that my mother never stopped with African culture. I can sound like Akata. You can call me anything that you want to, but I am African to the core. I love my culture. I love my people, and I love it all. And I love the African diaspora. I am a big person. I am a big advocate of that we are one. When every person in the black diaspora realizes the strength that we have together, the more moves we will make as people than being divided about nonsense. Because let's be real, not Oga Caucasian that created these dynamics and this divide to make people feel like they're not the same people, so that they can eat from black African Americans, they can eat from Africans. They don't want us to be together. You don't understand. That's what they're doing, and we are feeding into that dynamic.
Yeah, it's like
So that's my
The
little. divide and conquer
strategy
has
has
been
been
there.
there.
They do that. That's how they did slavery.
Mm,
Literally, make one person feel better than the other.
yeah.
We'll create. We're going to enslave people, and it's very sad. And I think today too, we can always say that people that are in Africa, there, people that are African American. There's some people that think that people are not sorry and not upset. No, we're upset about it.
Yeah, very
We're
upset
upset
about
that
it.
some of our leaders and some of our people sold our brothers and sisters into slavery. They shouldn't have.
Yeah.
That shit is ridiculous, like literally for nothing. And you know what? It's because they shine a shiny glass in your eye. Then you're going to sell people for nothing.
Exactly,
Like it's
and I've
ridiculous.
really noticed that now a lot of Caucasians are now telling the story of slavery, really hitting on the point that the slavery was they were partners with the chiefs and all that. It was just business. And if you have been to Africa, like for someone like me, I went to the cast. I've been there many times, and the first time I went there, I was really angry. I was really disappointed. I cried,
Yes.
and that's where I felt that special connection between myself
And
and
the
diaspora.
diaspora.
That's
That's
why
why
I
I
really
really
realized that
realized
in
that, in
fact
fact, we are
something
something
passion.
passion.
No
No
matter
matter
who
who
you
you
are,
are,
if you
if you
go
go
to
to
that
that
place,
place,
you will
you will
never
never
be the
be the
same.
same.
And
And
Absolutely.
yeah,
yeah.
so
So
let's
let's
get
get
let's
let's
get
get
on to
on to
this
this
topic.
topic.
All right,
All right.
so
So
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
There is
There is
this
this
chat
chat
that
that
is
is
now
now
on
on
the
the
YouTube. It's now live. I don't know if you can see it. It's now live. It says the percentage of U.S. adults at least have a bachelor's degree. It's, I think it's percentage of U.S. adults with at least a bachelor's degree by country of birth. And guess what? Nigeria ranks 59% of the entire population of America. I think Nigerians have more degrees and masters than any other ethnicity in the United States. That's only Nigeria alone. Not to talk of Ghana, not talk of Liberia, not talk of Ivory Coast, not talk of Ethiopia and all these African countries also in the United States. All right, what really contributes to
contributes to
that?
that.
Like,
Like,
why is
why
it
is it
so?
so?
I think okay. I'm actually going to take it back to when the English colonized Nigeria, right?
Mm,
One of the things that they did that we'll give them kudos for is that they really brought in that scholastic system, right? There's,
mm,
there's a system of scholastics that is, and so a lot of our ancestors and our mothers and our fathers really felt that education was the way to be successful, was the
mm.
way to move forward as
I just want to be
what
fair
I'm
to you.
saying is that. So
Mm,
when you come here, you come in here already in a survival mode. So you're
oh,
gonna do everything to get yourself to the best place in life, right? So
mm,
education is one of those tools because that's why I empower education because I think education is one of the important keys to turning the door. So when you're brought up in I'm going to speak for myself. I'm
mhm.
brought up by a mother that's Nigerian Ghanaian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is so strict about making sure that you are like literally. I never missed a day of school, even when I was sick. I had to go to school. I had to bring good grades. If I brought grades that were less than, I was even. I said, "Oh, you could do better." That's
Yeah.
instead of like there was never that like molly cuddling or it's fine, you're a winner. No, you did bad. You got to do better. So I was scared to bring grades that were not specifically great. I was scared when I wasn't excelling because I knew that my mother was going to give me hell. So there's a certain kind of dynamics from African parents about you better be studying. You better be bringing good grades. So I'm not raising no bomb. And of course,
Yeah.
they're out here. They're also struggling, and they might not be working with jobs that are really the greatest jobs. So they want their children to reflect greatness. So that's why they push. So you have to be a lawyer, a doctor. Even me, I have fallen short. I am not a lawyer. I am not a doctor. But
That
That's
is
whatever.
crazy. The
pressure
pressure
Like
is
is
not.
literally, go ahead, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
please.
please. It's
But I was gonna say, even you can tell that when you're
Yeah.
yeah.
in Ghana, your parents push education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
African parents that are from West Africa, I will speak from West Africa. I don't know about any other African country because I was brought up by West Africans,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they push educational education, not crack. If you don't, that's the drug of choice is education. If you
It's
don't, if
e.
you don't do it, they look down on you and they make you feel less than, and it's not a good thing on their
Mm,
part. But
mm,
that's why you excel to be more than you want, and also you want to live that dream. You want to be able to be successful, make the kind of money that you deserve. So that is all connected to the letters on your degree, Abby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
very
very
true.
true.
Even
Even
here
here
in
in
Africa,
Africa,
the
the
pressure
pressure
Yes.
is
is
so
so
much,
much,
and
and
Asha.
like you need to be something, okay?
and
And
it's not
it's not
surprising
surprising
that the
that the
education
education
level,
level,
especially in
especially in
Ghana,
Ghana,
and
and
the
the
literacy
literacy
rate,
rates,
we are
we are
not
not
getting a
getting a
lot of
lot of
things
things
right.
right.
And I
And I
think
think
the
the
education,
education,
the
the
book
book
long
long
something
something
is
is
getting
getting
in
in
our
our
head
head
that
that
we
we
need
need
to
to
be
be
practical.
practical.
But
But
the
the
educational,
educational,
the
the
literacy
literacy
rate
rate is
is 80%.
80%.
10
10
years
years
ago, it
ago, it
stood
stood
about
about
50%.
50%.
Now
Now
it's
it's
80%.
80%.
It's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
And
And
yeah,
yeah,
so
so
I
I
think
think
I
I
think
think
that
that
what you're
what you're
saying is
saying is
very
very
true.
true.
And
And
I
I
believe
believe
that
that
there's
there's
something
something
that is
that is
also
also
holding
holding
our
our
African
African
Americans
Americans
or
or
those in the
those in the
diaspora
diaspora
back
back
for.
for.
I
I
think
think
we
we
all need
all
to
need to we
we all
all
would
would
love to
love to
educate our
educate our
children,
children,
but
but
there's
there's
some
some
dynamics
dynamics
or
or
there's
there's
some
some
things
things that is really affected
or
or
that
that
is
is
really
really
affecting
affecting
or
or
that is
that is
really
really
pulling
pulling
them
them
back
back
to
to
also
also
have
have
that
that
light.
light.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
as
as
someone who
someone
have
who have
been to
been to
in
in
America
America
for
for
long,
long,
what
what
do you
do you
think are
think are
some of
some
the
of the
things
things
that
that
is
is
really
really
pulling
pulling
or
or
pushing
pushing
or
or
that's
that's
really
really
pulling
pulling
African
African
Americans
Americans
back for
back
them
for
to
them to
attain
attain
higher
higher
education level?
education level?
Because they
Because they
represent,
represent,
I
I
think,
think,
yeah,
they're
about
about
46
46
million
million
people,
people,
right?
right?
And
And
it
it
really
really
doesn't
doesn't
really
really
make
make
sense
sense
that
that
if
if
I
I
believe that
believe that
if
if
an
an
African
African
American is
American
doing
is doing
something
something
right and they
right
are
and they are
shining, it
shining, it
shines
shines
on
on
all
all
black people
black
around
people
the
around the
world.
world.
The
The
Tulsa
Tulsa
massacre, the
massacre, the
Tulsa
Tulsa
event,
event,
the
the
Black
Black
Wall
Wall
Street
Street
is a
is a
pride to
pride to
all of
all
us.
of us.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
I
I
think
think
what
what
concerns them
concerns
should
them should
also
also
be
be
much
much
concerning to
concerning to
us. Okay,
us.
so
Okay, so
for
for
someone who've
someone
been
who've
there
been
for,
there
do
for,
you
do
have
you
any
have any
idea
idea
what
what
probably
probably
will be
will
the
be the
reason
reason
why
why
they
they
fall
fall
short on
short
that
on that
area?
area?
Are they
Are they
not? Is
not?
it
Is
that
it
they are
that they are
not
not
really
really
motivated, or
motivated,
their
or their
parent
parent
doesn't
doesn't
push them
push
like
them like
they
they
push
push
us?
us?
Because the
Because the
pressure on
pressure
us
on
is
us
really
is really
much
much
intense.
intense.
What
What
really do
really
you
do you
think
think
is the
is the
problem
problem
here?
here?
I don't know if we'll call it a problem or we call it an issue that has been created by the larger, systems that be. I think it's systematic oppression. I think it is the prison, the prison pipeline. Like when a child is born here, like like it's literally, it's harder. You know what I'm saying? It's harder
Hmm.
for them. And if you don't, if you don't love yourself and know who you are, know where you're coming from, or have that pride, sometimes it's hard. When
Mm.
you all you see is when they're not, even when we're going to talk about now where being a rapper or being something is glamorized versus getting your degree or doing what you need to do or playing basketball or doing something, like they do different things to kind of like shadow box and block
Mm.
an African American. Even Africans are getting caught up, and they're Africans now that are not finishing their degrees like they used to. So I think that it literally is, it's all about it's what's the word that I'm looking for? It's distractions. It's
Distraction.
distraction. Is distractions. You are distracted by what I call. I know people are gonna. I call it nigga trinkets. By sneakers, by bling, by this, by that. You're distracted, and it's hard for us sometimes as African, because our African parents are so strict. My African American friends were able to go outside. Let me tell you one day. Let me tell you the story. I wanted to go to the Belle Biv DeVoe concert with Bobby Brown, all of them. I was ready.
Mm.
My mother told me that I couldn't go. I could not go. I ended up going because my friend's mother was like, "Yeah, y'all could go. Go ahead. Y'all could be out late or whatever." So they're a little bit more. Some of the parents are not as strict as our parents. Not all African American parents, because there are strict ones, but there's some that are not strict and they let you get away with what you want to get away with. You know what I'm saying? And my mother, when I came home, I was how 12 or 13 or 14, I was 14, 13 or 14. She tried to hit me. She tried to hit my friend. Okay? They used to beat me. Oh. They used to beat us.
Wow.
ACS.
Speak about
Like with like literally, because that's how. And I knew that, like I was scared. I was so scared. They put the fear of God in you. Let's be
Yeah.
real. Our parents put the fear of God in you. I don't know how psychologically they do it,
Mm.
but African American parents are much like. At one point, I was like, oh, I wish my mother was my friend Tian. I said, I wish that was my mother, because She would let her go out. She would let her enjoy. My mother was so strict. I couldn't do certain things.
Yeah.
It's the strictness. Like they're not as strict, you know. And I understand they don't have to be that strict. Sometimes our parents are also detrimental to us
Mm, mm,
mental with our mental health
yes.
because they do too much. So
Now it's
I
not
think
even
it's that it's
And
become now
now
it's
it's
not
not
even
even
become
become
like
like
a
a
mental.
mental,
It's
it's
become
become
like
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 normal
normal
to
to
us.
us. As a
As a
kid,
kid,
my
my
father
father
was
was
so
so
much
much
strict
strict
on
on
me.
me.
I'm
I'm
also a
also a
marketer
marketer
and
and
also
also
a
a
data
data
analyst.
analyst.
And
And
my
my
father
father
was
was
very
very
strict
strict
on
on
me.
me.
Even
Even
when
when
my
my
mother
father
left the
left the
house,
house,
she
she
leaves the
leaves the
mantles.
mantles,
She
she
handled
handled
the
the
mantles to
mantles to
my
my
sisters.
sisters.
Okay,
Okay.
and
And
they
they
acted
acted
like
like
my
my
father.
father.
So
So
like
like
constant
constant
pressure.
pressure.
And
And I
I did
did
not
not
like
like
my
my
parents
parent
for
for
that.
that.
But
But
as
as
I
I
grew
grew
up, I
up, I
realized that
realized that
it's
it's
really
really
weird.
weird.
And
And
if
if
you
you
read
read
the
the
story
story
of
of
Ben
Ben
Carson,
Carson, the
the mother
mother
treated
treated
him the
him the
same.
same.
Okay,
Okay,
so I
so I
mm,
think
think
the
the
problem
problem
that
that
I've
I've
realized,
realized,
I've
I've
been
been
reading a
reading a
lot
lot
about
about
my
my
African
African
American
American
relatives,
relatives,
and
and
I
I
realized
realized
that
that
there is
there's
now
now
a
a
family
family
problem,
problem,
family
family
head
head
problems.
problems.
Okay,
Okay,
that
that
the
the
family
family
is
is
broken.
broken.
Like
Like
you
you
don't
don't
get that
get that
structure
structure
for
for
them
them
to
to
thrive. You
thrive. You
don't
don't
have
have
the
the
figureheads.
figureheads.
And
And
if
if
you're,
you're,
let's say
let's
in
say in
Africa,
Africa,
when
when
your
your
father
father
talks to
talks
you
to
and
you
you
and
do
you
not
not
listen, your
listen, your
father
father
will
will
handle
handle
you
you
to
to
your
your
uncle
uncle
or
or
your
your
grandfather
grandfather or
or
your uncles,
whatever.
whatever.
In
In
Africa,
Africa,
everybody's
everybody's
your
your
uncle.
uncle.
Any
Any
adult
adult
is
is
your
your
uncle
uncle,
or any
or
or your
your
auntie
auntie
or
or
something.
something.
And
And
even
even
your
your,
which
just
is
like
not
you
a good
said,
thing too. But I mean, we'll talk about that
yeah,
another
yeah,
day.
yeah.
it's
It's
not
not
really a
really a
good
good
thing.
thing,
But
but
there
there
is
is
hierarchy,
hierarchy.
and
And
I
I
think
think
then
then
also
also,
as you
as you
said, the
said, the
fear
fear
of
of
God
God
has
has
really
really
worked
worked
on
on
us
us
and
and
has
has
really
really,
really
really
paid
paid
off.
off.
So
So
what
what
also do
also
you
do you
think
think
that
that
African
African
Americans
Americans
can
can
learn
learn
from
from
this
this
culture?
culture?
Because we
Because we
really
really
need to
need to
benefit
benefit
from
from
each
each
other.
other.
Okay,
Okay,
we
we
really
really
need
need
to
to
benefit.
benefit.
Like
Like
I'm not
I'm
not
not
for
for
they
they
are let
are,
them
let them
do
do
they
they
and we
and we
do
do
us.
us.
Okay,
Okay.
and
And
No.
I
I
read
read
about
about
some
some
of
of
the
the
comment
comment
that
that
came
came
from
from
the
the
Tariq
Tariq
Nashi's
Nashi's
program
program
that
that
he
he
did,
did.
and
And
someone
someone
said
said,
that's
that's
why
why
I
I
tell
tell
my
my
children.
children,
I
I
think the
think the
person
person
was
was
Nigerian.
Nigerian.
That's why
That's
I
why I
told my
told my
children
children
that
that
when you
when you
come to
come
the
to
United
United
States,
States,
mingle
mingle
with
with
these
these
people.
people.
Don't
Don't
move
move
with
with
African
African
Americans.
Americans.
So
All right.
let me chime into that. I think that we need to like break that stigma and
Mm-hmm.
realize that we have to learn
Mm,
about each other's culture. We
Mm.
mm.
have to learn about each other's culture. When I was in, I said this, when I was in Nigeria, I did not know the ramification. I did not know that slavery really existed to how it did till I came to America. And then I learned the evil, the nonsense, the way that they were abused to build the country of America. I think that we need to know each other's history
Mm,
and then learning about our leaders that are like Kwame Nkrumah,
mm.
schooled in Lincoln University in America. Let's be
Yeah,
Yeah,
real.
Kofi
yeah.
So
Annan,
and
Kofi Annan, and all these
his
people.
best one of his mentors, best friends, W.E. Du Bois,
Mm,
which who was problematic too.
mm.
But the way that we are going to break some of these barriers is to learn each other's culture. Quite
Exactly,
simply, just
exactly,
learn each other's culture.
exactly.
Let me learn about you. You learn about me, and we learn about each
I
other.
think
And what are similar, what are
And I
different.
think
exactly.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
think
Huh?
what
what
you're
you're
saying
saying
is
is
very
very
poignant,
poignant,
like
like
very
very
true,
true,
very
very
real.
real.
I've
I've
realized
realized
that
that
what
what
some of
some
the
of the
person,
person,
what some
that's
one of
one
the
of the
strategies
strategies
the
the
oppressors
oppressors
they
they
use is
use
to
is
make
make
sure
sure
that
that
we
we
don't
don't
know
know
about
about
each
each
other.
other.
All
All
right.
right.
I
I
watched a
watched a
movie
movie
where
where
an
an
African
African
called
called
African
African
American
American
as a
as a
like he
he
called
called
him a
him a
cotton
cotton
picker.
picker.
It's
It's
just a
just a
movie,
movie,
a
a
cotton
cotton
picker.
Yeah.
picker.
And I
And I
watched
watched
another
another
But
movie.
then
movie.
here they called us African booty scratcher when I was in
Yes, and I
school.
watched another movie. An African
American
American
was
was
called an
calling
African
African
a
a
booty
booty
scratcher,
scratcher,
and
and
African booty scratcher.
and
Yep.
hey,
hey,
you
you
are
are
cut
cut
blood
from
from
the
the
planet
planet
of
of
apes,
apes.
and
And
Yeah.
yeah,
You
I
came
why
here in a
Desmond
canoe. They told me I came here in a canoe. Like
exactly
exactly.
get.
like big Gutarati could fit in canoe.
Yes,
Yes, I
I had
had
an
an
African
African
American.
American.
Actually,
Actually,
one of
one of
our
our
friends
friends
who
who
lived in
lived in
America
America
came
came
with
with
an
an
African
African
American
American
last
last
year,
year,
and
and
he
he
was
was
shocked.
shocked.
Like
Like
he
he
could
could
not
not
believe his
believe his eyes, like, is this Africa?
And
And
I
I
was
was
even
even
shocked
shocked
that he
that
was
he was
shocked.
shocked.
Like,
Like,
why
why
are
are
you
you
shocked?
shocked?
Like,
Like,
Yeah,
he
like you
came
say,
to
our
our.
like there was like there's these little myths and this misnomers. Oh, the food stinks. This I'm like, where do you get this stuff from? Like, I don't know, but it is learned behavior. They learn it from their families, their parents. They learn this, but I love that people are starting to stray away from that with the diaspora return, with everything. People are really knowing because white people have been enjoying Africa for years. They have been
Yes.
traveling to Africa for years, enjoying Africa. You
Yes.
yourself, Africa is your country, is your lands.
Yes.
Africa is your lands, not even
No.
your land, because there's several countries in Africa. So you have to come and enjoy and be a part of Africa, like the white man has been doing. Okay, and also I do want to push back on why are they not also going hard on the Arabs? Because the Arabs were the big part of brokering slavery back in the days.
Mm.
Why are you not attacking the Arab people? Attack Arabs
Yeah.
too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like literally, like you have to attack everybody. If you want to attack Africans, attack Arabs. Attack. There's so many people that were a part of this disgusting part of history. You're not attacking them. Even here, Joe Biden has not even given anybody reparations yet, and they're giving Asian people and bill, but they're not doing anything. Like literally, you see that you can see what the problem is, but you wanna. Like it's like when you have a cut on your hand, you have to screaming on your nose. Your nose is not going to do anything. You have to manage the cut. The problem is systematic racism. It's the fact that we are not that Africans are not heard in America. It has nothing to do with Africans.
Hmm.
Honestly, it has to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
with your leaders, your white leaders.
Hmm.
I
I had
had
I when I completed the university, I worked. My first company was one European company, and my boss, when the fact that the idea that was coming to Africa made him sick, because he thought Africa was some kind of bush with trees and whatever. So he was just sick. They could not for several times. And can you imagine now he's already building a house in Africa. He's lived in Africa for more than 10 years now.
You see, you
Yeah.
see.
But this person would tell an
Also,
African American or a black person who has never been in Africa before that, hey, these people are not your friends. They are this, they are that. Okay, can we take some comment from our people? Someone is saying comparing African customs to Black American family customs is weird. What do you think?
I don't. I think that I don't think it's weird because I mean there are dynamics that have gone over, like the dynamics that have gone over, but African American culture is mixed in, of course, with whatever the American culture as well. But I don't think it's weird. I think there's similarities and there's differences.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's with everything. It's not a comparison. It's more of like talking about this is we have a difference.
And that's
It's
we
not
need
a
to learn.
comparison. There's a
We
difference.
need to learn. And surprisingly, a lot of people do not know. But I know people like both Africans and African Americans who have, especially African Americans who have been to Africa in Ghana for a long time. They go there and they bring their nephews and nieces to school in Ghana to a certain
Yeah.
level, then take them back.
Hmm.
They want them to learn the culture, and you can see that we are not saying one is better than the other. But
Yeah.
let's be real, okay? Let's be real. It's no magic that African will leave Africa and go to school in the United States. And like this man Ashite school in my city, the man who led the NASA program, the NASA Mars rover program, is a Ghanaian.
Hmm.
He schooled in GSCS in Takoradi, went to Accra, went to KNUST University, and after he went to United States to continue, and now he's the chief engineer of NASA. Yes. Are you going to say that this person is taking a job which was supposedly needed to be handled to someone who dropped out of school?
But I just want to debunk this. Anybody Africans taking anybody's job? I mean, everybody like literally there are people that are other what like I think we just want to hate on each other because then Mexicans are taking jobs, Asians are taking jobs, Indians are taking jobs, like literally. But why are you not attacking those people that are really taking some of these jobs? And you're attacking Africans.
You're
Africans make
attacking your
the
family,
percentage of
and that is a
Africans
family. It's like blaming
the
you.
percentage of Africans that are taking jobs. And why are you differentiating yourself from Africa? We had the same people, though.
Yeah,
We had the same people. We're the same people.
yeah.
And I know that people came here enslaved and everything, but we are the same people. When Oga Whiteman sees two of me and you standing there, we are both niggas.
Mm,
Nobody's
mm,
different. We
mm.
are both niggas. We are both Africans. We are both black people. Nobody can tell the difference. So I don't understand why there is a divide about this and that. If you are going to be talking about people taking jobs, then Africans are the last ones you should be complaining
Yeah.
about because we don't take that many jobs.
Mhm.
It's not
Even
that many
looking
of us
at
here.
talking about the weirdness of the culture comparison for what the
Yes.
guy said. I read
Yes.
the book of Ben Carson, and Ben
Yes.
Carson grew up in a typical African setting, whereby you are not of your. According to Ben Carson, he said the mother could not even read, and the mother gave him the book to read, and whenever he reads, the mother behaves as if pretend as if he is able to read the book that this child is reading. Okay, so
Mhm.
it's like if you read the book, you know, no, this is a typical. He grew up in a typical African setting home, and you know that's the typical culture that Africans, the diaspora African Americans had when they went to the United States. The culture has been with them, but this culture is gradually eroding, and
Yes.
it's eroding because of this.
It's even eroding for us. We have the same
Exactly.
problem as there are Africans that are not taking stuff seriously, that are not doing what they need to do. It's the same thing. It's literally because of, I think, honestly, as much as we love the internet, as much as we love media and music and everything, I feel like a lot of that influences all of the black diaspora to not do what they need to do. And literally, when you think about like African American grandmothers were the ones that took care of a lot of the kids when their mothers and fathers got caught up in the drug era,
Oh,
got caught up in different things. Grandparents took over. And that's why a lot of those kids are doing what they need to do and doing what they have to do because their grandparents are a lot stricter than their parents were. It skips a generation. So I think that regardless of whatever, and like in every culture, there are people that are overachievers and there are people that are underachievers, and that's
yes,
just what it is. And
yes,
that's African American. There are wonderful African Americans that are freaking accolades. Have accolades of life and are educated. African American women are one of the most educated people in the world right
yeah,
now. They're, you know what I'm saying, and they're making money. They're doing their thing. So I think that this divide is like why we like to me it's like why are we having a conversation about dividing each other
yeah,
when we need to be together to get where we need to
exactly.
go.
But
It
first, I think
really,
we need to learn from each other, like you said before. We
that's
need to
it.
learn from each other.
That's
Like
it.
for a typical Ghanaian or a typical Nigerian or any African, when, like for example, if I have to leave my comfort or discomfort, whatever zone, and go to America,
Yes.
hey, I'm coming to work like 5 jobs. I'm not there to
Yes.
joke. Like I just will
Not,
go
no.
every level to make sure that I'm successful. That's the mindset
Yeah.
I go there with. And even it's even normal in Ghana. Think about those who come from the village. Okay, they leave the village and they come to school in the city. They are different.
Exactly.
It will be very difficult to compete with them because they have different mindset. Like, hey,
Yeah.
my family there are looking up to me. They want me to change some things in the family. So and if you come to Africa, even in Ghana here, like I'm because I'm Ghana, I'm just talking about Ghana because that's where I can really talk much about.
Mhm.
Most of our politicians, okay, now are people who left the village and schooled in the city. Yes, so
That's
it's
it.
just normal.
That's it. And it literally is normal level. And even like, like when you talk about even like I love like a lot I have friends that are Africans, I have friends that are African American, I have friends that are Caribbean. Caribbeans have the same hustle spirit too. You ever realize that? It's because like Caribbeans have the same kind of hustle spirit in a sense like Africans
Mm,
because they were a little bit more their parents are strict too and their parents are
mm.
about that life about what I'm saying like in Africa sometimes you don't have to just think about yourself you got to think about you taking care of the whole family right you have that
Yeah, yeah,
dynamic in your mind
Yeah,
yeah,
you have that like oh I have to hustle it's not only for me I'm hustling for everybody right
yeah,
yeah.
so like there's no selfishness within it as well as what I'm saying like I feel like even us feed, even me and you, we shouldn't even feed into this sometimes because I don't see a difference with us. I see
Mm,
that we are the same people, but we are misunderstood. We do not know what we need to know. And I
mhm.
love when my African American friends ask me about culture, about Nigerian, Ghanaian culture. I tell them everything that I know. And I also learn about their culture. Who were the
exactly.
Exactly.
trailblazers in the African
Mhm,
American movement that moved the gamut
mm.
without the Martins, without the Malcolm X's, without the Marcus Garveys, without the Harriet Tubmans? Where would we be as
Yes,
Yes,
Africans? Would we even
yes.
be
yes.
making it here?
Look,
Look,
You know what I'm
African
African
saying?
Americans,
Americans, they
they
created
created
the
the
forefathers
forefathers
created the
created the
environment
environment
for
for
the
the
Africans to
Africans to
thrive
thrive
because
because
they
they
did
did
not
not
even
even
Yes,
see
see
us to
us
be
to be
different.
different.
They
They
didn't know
didn't
the
know the
difference.
exactly.
differences.
Exactly. Exactly. So there is division that doesn't happen to happen as we and like and literally, of course, you know what I'm saying. And African America is not even it's even British blacks. There's so much, but literally, you were brought like I know that they don't want to claim Africa, but the way that the color of your skin, who you are from Africa. There's
Yes.
Yes.
no other way. They didn't get you from Antarctica. They didn't get you from China. You
Mm,
are African. Okay?
mm,
You may
mm,
not want to claim it, but you are African. Your
Yeah.
blood bleeds Africa.
mm,
And and a lot of the people that came to African Americans were the soldiers. They on their backs we have risen. On their backs we are who we are. And I know our ancestors did not want us to fight within each other at
Mm-hmm.
mm,
all. Because some of
mm,
the African American slaves went
mm,
back home to Sierra Leone, to
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Liberia, to
mm,
Nigeria, to
mm,
Ghana. You know what I'm
mm.
saying?
It's
Like
true.
a lot of them went back home. And so who are those? Do you hate them too? They too were enslaved and they came back to Africa, or vice versa. So I don't understand this division. It's so upsetting to me. Like I get so like upset about this because I believe we are one people. And when we
Yes.
realize the strength of us
Yes.
together, oh my God, the moves
We
we're
can
gonna make
do
is
more.
out of this
Like
world.
they don't want us to unite. They will divide us with movies. They will divide us with yeah. Because let's start. If in Africa, yeah, this is how we are made to see African Americans. We see them to
Yeah.
be rapists, gangsters, smokers, dressed in a certain way, like all
And
the
it's all
bad
bullshit.
stuff that.
It's all
Yes,
bullshit. It's
yes,
all bullshit.
all
It's
these.
all
That's
bullshit.
so. If I have never been to America before, if I have this perception about my African American brother and I go to America, I wouldn't want to associate with them. Or I wouldn't let my children do the same because I'll say, hey, they are going, I'm exposing them to something bad. That is, but they
But the
use the
same thing, like
movie.
they're scammers and gangsters in Africa too.
Exactly. And no, they use the
Bad
movies.
is bad in both
And this is
sides.
not even real. They use movies.
Mhm.
And because of money, black people would want to take the money and act to become so real to we the viewers to believe that hey you are like this or you are like that, okay, which is pure nonsense. Okay, so
It
we
is.
as black people, no matter where we are, we have to cherish or value our race. We should know that
Period.
it's not the time to compromise because we've gone through together.
Period.
Whilst you are fighting for your civil rights, you were fighting against the colonizers. Was the every moment, every bit of moment that you were going through bad stuff, we were going through even times two of that. Okay, and we were fighting with you. Ghanaian college, there is this thing that we learned in school, and we say that why would a white American tell a South African white that he's oppressing black, whilst he's already oppressing black in America?
Hmm. But let me push back to you too. Like I'm gonna push back.
Yeah.
So when black people sometimes go to Ghana or like and there's white people, I feel like sometimes like what I'm saying
Mm.
Mm,
that they treat white people better than they treat black people. Even their own fellow Ghanaians. I've sat in a restaurant and a white person has entered restaurant, and I've been in the restaurant, and the Ghanaians will treat the white people better and will serve them first. So let's talk about
mm.
that,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Very
Very
true.
true.
Very
Very
true.
true.
And that
And
is
that
why
is
we
why we
all
all
have to
have to
stand
stand
up.
up.
Look,
Look,
if
Yes.
you
if you
came to
came to
Ghana
Ghana
and you
and you
believe you
believe
were
you were
Ghanaian,
Ghanaian,
okay,
okay,
one of
one
the
of the
advantages
advantages
that
that
African
African
Americans
Americans
have
have
over
over
Africans is
Africans is
that
that
they
they
have
have
nationality
nationality
to
to
all the
all the
African
African
countries.
countries.
Unlike
Unlike
you and
you and
I,
I,
Yeah.
you
you
even
even
have
have
more
more
nationality
nationality
than
Ghanaian,
Nigerian.
Nigerian.
I
I
feel
feel
so
so
alone.
alone.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
when you
when you
come to
come to
Ghana
Ghana
and you
and
go
you
to
go
a
to a
restaurant
restaurant
and you
and you
see
see
that
that
a
a
black
black
person
person
is
is
treating you a
treating you a
certain way,
certain way,
just
just
speak
speak
out.
out.
Of course.
Just
You
Just
think
bring
you think
them
I didn't
back
say
to their
something? Of course
senses.
I will.
look.
Look,
I
I
work in
work
a
in a
European
European
company
company
and
and
they
they
did
did
not
not
like
like
me.
me.
Okay,
Okay.
one of
One
my
of my
bosses
boss
told me
told me
one day
one day
that
that,
hey, I
hey,
do
I
not
do not
like you,
like you,
but I
but I
like
like
the
the
way
way
you
you
work,
work,
so
so
we would
we'd
have
have
to
to
maintain
maintain
you.
you.
Okay,
Okay.
they
They
told me
told me
point
point
blank
blank.
because
Because
That's it.
this is
this is
what they
what they
were
were
doing.
doing.
They
They
saw
saw
real. They
real,
saw
they saw
something they were
something they
not
were not
comfortable with.
comfortable with.
Like
Like
a lot
a
of
lot of
African
African
Americans
Americans
come to
come to
Ghana.
Ghana,
There are
there are
problems in
problems in
Ghana,
Ghana,
like water
water
crisis and
crisis
all
and
that.
all
They
that.
saw
They
that
saw that
like
like
the
the
kind of
kind of
life that
life
we
that
live
we
in the
live in the
West.
West,
This
this
not the
not the
same that
same
we
that we
have
have
here.
here.
So
So
they
they
become
become
very
very
frustrated and
frustrated and
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
And
And
whenever
whenever
they are
they are
frustrated, they
frustrated, they
vent it
vent
on
it on
me.
me.
Like
Like
to a
to a
government, they're
government, they're
stupid.
stupid.
The
The
government is
government
too
is too
stupid. We
stupid.
are
We are
stupid.
stupid.
And I
And I
told them,
told them,
hey,
hey,
you
you
cannot
cannot
insult
insult
me
me
like
like
that.
that.
Like
Like
I
I
really,
really,
I
I
started
started
hitting
hitting
like
like And
when they
when they
realized
realized
that
that
they
they
came
came
with
with
a
a
certain
certain
mindset
mindset
to
to
Africa
Africa
that
that
Africans
Africans
are
are
stupid or
stupid or
something,
something,
so
so
we
we
are
are
going to
going to
exploit them.
exploit
So
them.
when
So
they
when they
came
came
and
and
they
they
hired
hired
some
some
of
of
us and
us
they
and they
realized
realized
that,
that,
hey,
hey,
we are
we are
not the
not the
kind of
kind of
people they
people they
thought
thought
we
we
were,
were,
still
still
they
they
had
had
some
some
mixed
mixed
feeling.
feeling.
They
They
like
like
us,
us,
but they
but they
don't
not
like
like
us.
us.
Okay,
Okay.
and
And
it's the
it's the
same.
same.
I
I
think the
think the
reason
reason
why
why
this
this
statistics is
statistics is
very
very
revealing,
revealing,
or they
or they
push those
push
kind
those
of
kind of
statistics in
statistics
the
in the
United
United
States,
States,
because they
because
know
they
that
know that
for
for
we
we
Africans,
Africans,
immigrants,
immigrants,
no
no
matter we are
matter, we
going
are
to
going to
better our
better our
life and
life
go
and go
back to
back to
our
our
country.
country.
But for
But
the
for the
African
African
Americans,
Americans,
they are
they are
going to
going to
compete with
compete
the
with the
whites.
whites.
You
You
understand?
understand?
Yeah, I mean,
So
and I mean, it's a dynamic that they create, but I think that the world is getting smaller and people are starting to
exactly,
realize, right? The
exactly.
world is getting smaller and people are starting to realize that all these things are like, one thing I would thank Koro for doing is for really making the world so small to realize it's not really about color. Sometimes you can't even think
Mm,
it's about money. The
mm,
people is the haves versus the have-nots. Let's be real
exactly.
clear. Everything is about power and money, and power and money is used to make people think that they're less than people, that you're better than, or not up to. But when you realize that, when you remove that and you realize your samenesses, you start to see that you have brothers in even different races sometimes, and sisters in different races, like, but we have to realize that they continue this dynamic. The dynamic is the paradigm is starting to shift,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
they want it to continue of us hating each other.
Inshallah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they want us to hate each other, but I'm not here for it. Like,
Mm.
Mm,
even on me on my YouTube, when I talk about Ghana and Nigeria, I talk about the bad and the good. I
mm,
love my countries, but
mm.
I'm going to be real. And people that are Ghanaian will come and abuse me and do whatever.
They
They
But
forget
forget
that's
that
that
you
you
are
are
that's
ECOWAS.
ECOWAS.
ECOWAS. They don't know that ECOWAS. They don't know that I'm coming back and doing for the country.
Mm,
What are you doing for your country?
mm.
Are happening in your country? It takes a village. You can't
Yeah.
just be talking on keyboard.
And
No.
doing nothing.
What are you
Exactly.
doing? A
Mm.
lot of these people that are talking about the divide between African Americans and Black is because they're on keyboard. It's because
Mm.
they're on chat line. They're chatting. But can you come to my face and tell me that
Mm.
you're better than me or that I'm better than you? No, we are not. We are the same people. When you cut me, I bleed. I bleed the same blood that you do.
Mm.
If both of us are shot in the street, they will write us down as Black
Mhm.
on the hospital paper. They're not going to say African or African American. They'll put Black. That's
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Let's take some comments and react
All
to
right.
this comment. And someone said, if you guys are so smart and advanced, why is Ghana in a mess, poor infrastructure and rotten corruption?
Well, I don't think, first things first, I don't think anybody's saying anybody is smarter.
Mm.
Like, that is not it. We're talking about the fact that there's a divide.
Exactly.
We're not saying anybody is better than anybody.
Exactly.
We're talking about a divide.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, our African countries are a mess. Some of them because of our leadership, period.
Exactly.
Let's just talk about it.
Exactly.
There's mismanagement, and it's our leadership that we blame for slavery too back in the day.
Look,
Look,
Because of
there's a place
mismanagement and
called
greed.
there's a place called Aquitia in Ghana. The place would be compared to Johannesburg. So I used to say, why is this place like a mess? Like, it's really a mess in Aquitia. Like, you can't imagine a place where they extract gold and diamond would be such a mess. So I was already always comparing those countries to Johannesburg, because Johannesburg is a very beautiful place. Then another told me that those days we should know that people who control that place was the whites. And remember, Johannesburg has been controlled by the whites, and they were trying to make the place better for themselves for that long time. Okay. But the story of Akutia is different. And now the contract is still there. So now what our leaders needs to do is to break some contracts to like
Let,
renegotiate
let me give you
everything.
an example. Like in Liberia,
Mm.
the Firestone
Yes.
factory, right? Meaning where they make the rubber. Do you know that they're in a 99-year contract with Firestone, where they're still talk about slavery? There's still slavery going on in Africa. The point is, the fact is that we are not the real people pulling the strings. The puppet masters are pulling the strings. The
Exactly.
West owns Africa. Let's be real clear about
Look,
that.
believe it or not, they are powerful. The enemy or whatever. Like I don't see the white people general as enemy, because even in the civil rights movement, we had a lot of white people supporting the movement who really meant well to see that what blacks are being, the way we are treated is not fair, so we should have our freedom. But the institution and the countries, they were doing everything to keep us down and still doing it. And look, you will say that African leaders are stupid and whatever. Remember,
Not
their
stupid.
hands are
They're not.
tied. In most cases, their hands are tied. They cannot do anything. Like
But
the
why are
money,
their
your
hands
wealth.
tied? Because they're taking money from the West.
Exactly. Like, and now if you not take that, the problem is also with African people. Now in Ghana we have something called the e-levy. The e-levy is going to give the government billions of dollars, and we Ghanaians here, we are fighting it. It's like every transaction the government will take 1.7, because the government wants to just take himself from the dependence loan, like depending so much on the loan from the foreign countries. Okay, but we are not willing to embrace that austerity measures. We are not willing to pay the price for it. Okay, so I think we Africans, people in Africa, we are part of the problem. Our government is the problem, and also the masters are still real. The
The mass
people,
colonization is the like Kwame Nkrumah said. I am no. We're not free until everybody's free, and everybody is not free.
exactly. Kwame Nkrumah said
Everybody is
that.
not free.
Exactly,
Everybody is not
exactly,
free. We
exactly.
live. Even African Americans here in America are being strong by puppet masters. Anybody that is not Anglo-Saxon or whatever are being strung by puppet masters. There is no like dynamic. You could be a richer black person or whatever, but the puppet master is still very real. And it's a shame because colonization has taken a different face. It is institutionalized racism. It is all of that. So all of that stuff still happens, but they do it covertly. You don't see it, so you start pointing fingers at your fellow brothers and sisters. Point the finger where you really need to point the finger.
Yeah. Someone just told me that it's not true. It's the victimization or whatever, victimhood, and African they just attacks and whatever. They are attacks. And they are, look, these people are the ignorant people. Let me be very blunt. Okay, these people do not know what the big pharmaceuticals what they do. These people do not know
Oh,
the weapon manufacturers what they do. These people do not know,
woo!
like they don't read. Okay, so they don't understand how powerful the institutions they are. Like these people connive with some of the African leaders. You can say some are this and I agree with you. Some are tax. Okay, but for people like some lead for some of us, okay, we are with the people in the country. We are waking up to make our government very accountable, and the more we make them accountable, the more we also discover that there are some people behind the scene pulling the strings, the same people who are making you feel like you are less of human.
Huh? How about that? And also, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this, bro. So, in our cell phones and in our computers
Mm,
is it cobalt or whatever? Is a mineral, and you get it from the Congo. Congo is the poorest country in the world.
mm,
But the thing that everybody uses today is something that and they get no money from it because they make sure that they keep Congo in war.
mm,
They give militia weapons. So when we talk about this thing is so multi-layered. It's
mm.
so multi-layered. When we start breaking out those layers, and when you start speaking the truth, they start discrediting you
Exactly.
and putting you or killing your ass. So be very clear that this is follow the money.
Someone said West Africans have to stop the excuses. Let me tell you something. When
Excuse
Ghana
what
wanted,
excuses?
look, when Ghana wanted to have electricity to industrialize Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah wanted to industrialize Africa. Ghana went through serious sanctions. Like it was at that time it was the height of the Cold War, and if you read those books, it was really crazy. Like and when we had it, when the day Kwame Nkrumah was able to pull through with it, all this, it was overthrown by the CIA. I am not saying it. A CIA agent, he was in the he was in the embassy in Ghana. He confesses. He told us. A live documentary told us at the point in time Kwame Nkrumah asked this man, "Why are you trying to call me?" That's what he said. So
like
like
I
I
don't
don't
think we
think we
have
have
to
to
But
respond
have
to
you
stupid
seen that
people.
any leader that really wants to lead Africa has been killed, either killed or discredited? Just
yeah.
Yeah.
like Thomas Sankara, like
Mm-hmm.
all of the people that really have done what they need to do, due diligence. And it's not excuses. Basically, it's not like what the person said, it's not excuses, it's the fact of what's going on. Because the person asked about why is Africa not where it needs to be. So we answered that question.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're not saying it's excuses. The same systematic shit that's happening in America is the same systematic shit that's happening in Africa. The same oppression is happening in both places, but with the same puppet masters. Nothing is different. Let's be very clear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I
I
don't know
don't know
what
what
advice
advice
do
do
you
you
have
have
for
for
black
black
people.
people. Look,
The
the
president of
president of
Ghana
Ghana
said
said
something.
something.
Said
Said
it
it
doesn't
doesn't
matter where
matter where
you
you
are,
are,
as
as
long
long
as
as
you're
you're
black,
black,
you're
you're
an
an
African.
African.
So
So
I'm
I'm
not
not
here
here
to
to
address the
address the
foundational
foundational
black.
black.
Someone
Someone
said
said
ECOWAS
ECOWAS
seems
seems
like
like
it's
it's
taking too
taking
long.
too long.
I
I
agree
agree
with
with
you.
you.
That's
That's
why
why
you.
you
That's
that's
why
why
I
I
think
think
the
the
African
African
Americans
Americans
should
should
also
also
see
see
themselves
themselves
to be
to be
part of
part
the
of the
solution
solution
of the
of the
problems.
problems.
You
You
have to
have to
speak
speak
out.
out,
Like you
like
have
you
to
have
be
to be
part of
part of
it
it
without
without
being
being
without
without
sounding
sounding
like you
like
are
you are
trying to
trying to
be in
be
the
in the
middle
middle
of
of
antagonizing,
antagonize,
like
like
playing
playing
the
the
games
games
of the
of the
white
white
people.
people.
You
You
should be
should be
part of
part
it.
of it.
Someone
Someone
just
just
said
said
it
it
seems
seems
that
that
Africa
Africa
ECOWAS is
ECOWAS is
taking
taking
too
too
long.
long.
Yes, I
Yes, I
think
think
it's
it's
true,
true,
and
and
Yes,
there needs
so
to be
yes,
more.
we we agree with you. We agree. ECOWAS is not doing what it's
yeah.
Yeah.
supposed to do. You're absolutely right, and that is because of corruption.
Corruption.
Exactly.
I
I
agree
agree
with you.
with you.
Corruption. We
Corruption,
have
we
to
have to
say it
say
the
it the
way
way
it
it
is.
is.
So,
So,
my
my
sister,
sister,
what
Corruption.
what
do
do
you
you
have
have
to
to
say
say
to
to
Africans
Africans
all
all
over the
over the
world?
world?
Just
Just
communicate,
communicate,
just
just
impart
impart
some
some
knowledge
knowledge
to
to
us.
us.
And
And
please,
please,
if you
if
are
you are
watching,
watching,
just go
just
to
go to
Plurality.
Plurality.
And
And
I
I
have the
have the
link
link
there.
there.
You
You
can
can
just go
just
there
go
and
there and
subscribe.
subscribe.
She's
She's
doing
doing
wonderful. My
wonderful. My
sister,
sister,
first of
first
all,
of
I
all, I
want
want
to
to
commend
commend
you.
you.
I
I
saw your
saw your
videos
videos
and
and
I
I
felt
felt
that
that
me
me
as an
as an
African,
African,
me
me
as
as
a
a
Ghanaian, I'm
Ghanaian,
not
I'm not
doing
doing
much.
much.
So
So
now
now,
We are going to be working together to do even more.
exactly.
That's
So
all right.
now you're one of my mentors. You're silence man. I'm looking up to you to do more. I really, you can just go there and see what she's doing, and I want you to follow. She's really taking. She's really becoming the middle woman, building the gap between Africans and African Americans, and also impacting, trying to do something for the people of Africa. And I really love you too. God bless you for that. Like I,
Oh, thank you.
I tap
Thank
into
you.
that. I tap into that. That.
I'll be there. We'll be back. We'll be in Ghana soon doing some more stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I guess my advice, first things first, let's just meet each other where we're at,
Mm.
right? And start to learn from each other. If I don't know about what happened within slavery, teach me. I want to learn. If you want to know what's going on in Africa, if you want to know the history of Africa, what's going on, what food to eat, what things to do, ask me. I'm here. Like, I think that we need to first thing, take everything else. Let's break all of the numbers. Let's take all of our airs and byways. I'm better than you. I'm better. No, let's start to learn from each other and realize how we can work together to build together to make it better. Because I think even our own leaders, if the African Americans start screaming, because African Americans can talk louder than even Africans can talk
Yeah,
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
things, the injustices that are happening in Africa, then we are amplified. We need to amplify together,
yeah,
yeah,
learn from each other, and amplify. Turn the volume up because you know what? Africa belongs to you, period. It's your land.
yeah,
yeah.
It is what it is,
Yeah,
period.
when George Floyd was killed,
the
the
entire
entire
African
African
continent,
continent,
we're
we're
just
just
behind.
behind.
Yes,
Like
We're
we're
all
all
like
all
all
hands
hands was
was
on
on
the
the
deck.
deck.
In
In
Ghana,
Ghana,
we
we
demonstrated.
demonstrated.
Some
Some
went
went
to
to
the
the
U.S.
U.S.
Embassy.
embassy.
Was
Was
crazy
crazy
when
when
George
George
Floyd
Floyd
was
was
killed.
killed.
But
But
yes,
when
when
Nigerian
Nigerian
people were
people were
just
just
fighting
fighting
for
for
like
like
the
the
NSAS,
NSAS,
you
you
could
could
hardly
hardly
see
see
any
any
African
African
American
American
doing.
doing.
You
You
see,
see,
this is
this is
what we're
what we're
talking
talking
about.
about.
You
You
didn't
didn't
even
even
know.
know.
Probably you
Probably you
didn't
didn't
even
even
know
know
about
about
it.
it.
So
So
we
we
really
really
need to
need to
connect.
connect.
Just
Just
learn
learn
about
about
things
things
in
in
Africa.
Africa.
Just
Just
stay
stay
connected.
connected.
even if
Don't
Don't
you
just
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 say
look up the hashtags of African countries, just look up the hashtag. What's going on in Africa right now? Like there was a huge fire in Ghana that just happened
yeah,
yeah,
because of the
it's,
we didn't even touch on China man yet.
yeah.
yeah.
China man, oh China,
My
oh
I
sister,
we
I
didn't
think
even
think
I'll
I
have
touch
would
to
on
have to
that.
call you
call you
back so
back
that
so
we
that we
talk
talk
about
about
that.
that. If you give me, if
Okay,
I'll be
we'll
very
talk about
honored to
that.
have you
But there
back
was
to
a
talk
huge
about
fire
China
in
stuff.
Ghana that nobody talked about really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw it because I'm within the thing, but nobody even talked about it. A huge blast that killed 17 people and still counting. So what Why don't we amplify our voices?
Exactly. And my sister, guess what?
The
The
white
white
people
people
will
will
come
come
with
with
the
the
aid.
aid.
Yes.
They will come and sympathize with Africans. Like, hey, we are with you and all that.
And start
Like,
touching our
yes, they
children.
will just come and sympathize it with that. Like, I don't even see that. We don't hear this. We don't hear it being trumpeted by our. So we need to learn, like you said rightly. We need to connect more to know what is happening. And nobody should think that they are foundational Black American. It doesn't make any sense. No African was airdropped in America, or no American was born by an indigenous American. There's nothing like a foundational Black American. It's something, a coin word that doesn't really make any sense. You are an African. You can choose never to be part of Africa. You can choose never to be in Africa before, even like you don't want to. You can choose never to have anything to do with Africa. That doesn't change the fact that you are an African, and your ancestors are looking up to you. And one thing that both the Black, fundamental Black American or whatever, we one thing we both agree is that we are of the same ancestors and they are looking up to us. One thing that we both agree is that we need to work together and push away our differences, learn from each other. We need to have joint movie industry. We need to have joint businesses. We need to work together to build. Look, when Africa rises, when Africa becomes the powerhouse, any Black around the world will be respected.
That's it. That's it. And like also come and claim your land, buy your homes in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do. It's your land. And I know that it's not easy navigating sometimes, but you could make it happen. Like, you know, like an African American has built the Lucas Clinic that's in Ghana. Is it the Lucas Clinic? Whatever. But literally people are going there and creating dynamics and creating change. Imagine if 50% of us did it. Because of course
Exactly.
there's not gonna be everybody. Like literally somebody told me, "Oh my God, you look like you're having fun in Africa." I'm like, "Come visit." They're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, it
yeah.
just, I don't know. It's scary." What is scary about it? There's nothing scary about it. What is scary?
That's crazy.
You see
And
me? Do I look like whatever? What is scary?
that's a narrative that they push toward at them. They
Exactly.
see
It's
some
not
flies in our
scary.
face
It's
and
it's
all
what
that.
it is. And you know what? We're gonna respect people that want to be by themselves. Because honestly, I don't really want to pair up with people that want to divide. I want to pair up with people that want to be together.
Yeah.
All of these people that trying to divide and conquer are not going to be good for us anyway because they're going to try and destroy what we're trying to work on.
Yeah.
So you can keep on dividing, but there are that many much people that want to come together. Let's work together, learn from each other, and become one, and realize that we are stronger together,
Oh, my
not
sister, God bless you.
separate.
God bless you. So, if anybody is watching, I know that a lot of people will be watching afterwards. And
Yes.
if any African in the diaspora wants to come to Africa, they have, as you said, people fear like I don't even know where those kind of fears comes from. Like seriously, maybe probably the mainstream media amplifies the effectiveness or the bad side of
Yes.
Africa, so they think that's all about. Just the way they really amplify the little bad stuff about African American communities to believe that's
Yes.
how your whole system looks like. Okay, so
Exactly. Well, let me
if
plug my mother's business. If you do want to travel to Africa and you want to have it safe with a guide and all of that,
yeah.
go look up accessafrica.com and Access Africa, and we'll arrange your trip from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, please, and go to your
We'll take you to Africa by fire or by force.
by fire by force, yes. But you see that you go to Africa or you go to Africa. It's either you go to Africa or we take you to Africa. There's no middle
Exactly. It's
ground.
by fire or by force.
Yeah, yeah. So please thank you, my sister. Thank you so much. And people, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Please go to my sister's channel, subscribe, and just follow her. She'll be coming to Ghana this year. If you want to come with her,
Yes.
just talk to her. All right, she would
Yes.
be in a better position to bring you home. Like to come and see everything that you need to see in the continent. All right. So know that Africa is not only Ghana. We have 53 countries in one continent. Just close your eyes and
It's
connect.
54. 54.
54, yeah, 54, yes, exactly. I'm sorry. I owe you
So if
another.
you want, if you want if you want francophone, there's francophone. If you want anglophone,
Yeah.
there's anglophone. And then there's so many countries in Africa. I know that Ghana is like the getaway country that
Yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
going
It's
to
like
now.
Ghana
But
101,
there's so many
Africa 101.
countries to invest in. Ghana is
Yeah,
a little bit expensive now.
exactly. It's true. It's true. That is the truth. And you know what? Look, you just said the truth. Ghana is becoming very expensive, and now it's even going up even much more. And the seasons
Yes.
here we are. And you know what? I heard someone say that Ghana is becoming expensive because African Americans are buying the lands and the house. And I told him straight, you are stupid. Excuse my language for saying that. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I think
Inflation
we
is what's making it expensive.
exactly inflation and the economy, the whole how the whole thing is becoming. But we all of us can come together. If you are a tech guy, if you are into STEM, if you are into this or that, come to Africa. Invest not only about money, invest your knowledge,
Exactly.
invest what you learn.
Even donating time to teach some kids in schools
Exactly.
about STEM, about marketing, about research, because education is key. Like I always say, education is key. So like I have an organization called Africa Everything. We have students that are all like one of the students we gave a scholarship now is in Kwame Nkrumah University, going to school for aeronautic engineering. So boom, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
these kids are brilliant. They're ready to learn. They're ready to do whatever they need to do.
yeah,
So
yeah,
how do we move that forward?
yeah.
Because we pay it forward. We teach each other.
Mm,
We can
mm,
share.
mm.
Knowledge is free. Let's share it.
Exactly. And also, if you come to Ghana, know that Ghana is not only Accra. There are more
And,
beautiful
and,
places and more cheaper
and
places.
tell them, oh,
Yes,
say
yes.
it, say it
Ghana is
loud.
not
Uh-huh.
only Accra. There are Koforidua,
Uh-huh.
there are Takrady. Takrady is the third largest city in Ghana. That's where we have the
Tell me
oil and
now.
all those places. Okay, so just spread your, just explore. Okay, just open up. The same if the land that you get for, let's say, thousand, 100,000 or $50,000, you can get better land elsewhere in Ghana or other African
Uh-huh.
countries for way cheap. Okay, so
Eastern
don't just
region,
only soak.
Volta region. Ah,
Exactly, don't only soak into the hype. Be That's why we have people like Clarity. Okay, she will let you know the reality, and there are a couple of them around, and you'll be okay. So thank you so much for coming on board, and I'm so much happy to have my sister. I don't want to end this
we'll be back
conversation.
again. We are going to
Yes,
keep on having discussions.
exactly.
The
We are
next
going
one
to
we're
have.
talking about is China. Oh,
Exactly, we need to talk about China. We need to have this kind of discussion, and every African and every African American should be part of it. African, no matter where you are from, Ghana, Nigeria, Togo. It's rather unfortunate that we cannot speak
Burkina
French. Yes,
Faso,
exactly.
Ivory Coast, wherever. Bring it. Gambia,
Exactly.
Senegal,
Bring it
bring
down and
it.
let's have. And we can even have the conversation at the university, and maybe just spread the conversation so that we can reach more people. So thanks so
Exactly.
much for watching, and know that we love you, and
One,
listen
one
carefully.
Africa.
Yeah, one Africa, and you may choose to never admit it. As long as you have this skin, you can be fair, you can be chocolate, you can be whatever. But as long as you are black, you are an African. You cannot never escape that. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video. Love you all, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.